Hi, I'm Mike Scott, Superintendent of the Hillsboro School District. This month, I'd like to talk a bit about legislative advocacy and budget planning. As you may know, the Oregon legislature now meets every year. They have full session in odd-numbered years and short sessions in even-numbered years. During their full sessions, they do their heavy lifting in terms of passing new laws, changing existing laws, and determining the state's budget for the next 2 years. Before each full session, our school board typically approves a set of legislative priorities. At their January 27th meeting, they approve priorities for the 2015 session, which includes stable and adequate funding for K-12 education, maintaining the current structure of gain share, streamlining the interdistrict transfer process, streamlining state reporting requirements, and providing additional funding for any new requirements. Of particular importance is ensuring stable and adequate funding for K-12 education. We've been working on creating a long-term strategic reinvestment plan and vision for our district that identifies the staffing, supports, and other resources we feel are needed to provide the type of educational experience our students deserve and that will lead to exceptional outcomes we expect. Here to talk a bit more about the budget is Chief Financial Officer Adam Stewart. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. As Mike mentioned, the state's budget is determined every 2 years. The amount that's allocated to K-12 education sets the majority of public school districts' budgets for the following 2 years, also known as the biennium. Other sources of funds are grant funds and subsidies, and any locally approved construction bonds or operating levies. We're able to forecast our budget needs for future years by taking a look at the expenses we currently have and adding in both known increases to our costs, like step salary advancement for eligible staff members, increases to the cost of electricity, natural gas, supplies, and so on, as well as the cost for things we would like to add to our system to improve instruction and opportunities for our students. This year, we were fortunate enough to be able to add over $6 million back to our budget after several years of reduction. For the next biennium, I projected our needs based on maintaining a current service level. That means that we would do the same things in the next 2 years that we're doing this year, as well as moving to full-day kindergarten. To do that, we would need a state-level allocation of $7.385 billion. Back in December, the governor put out his budget recommendation in which $6.914 billion was allocated to K-12 education. Then on Wednesday, January 14th, the co-chairs of the Joint Ways and Means Committee released their budget recommendation in which $7.235 billion was allocated to K-12. Two statewide organizations, COSA and OSBA, which represent administrators and school boards, have determined that $7.5 billion would be needed for all districts in Oregon to maintain current service level. They've also determined that $7.875 billion would be needed to expand, invest, and improve our schools and embark on a 10-year plan to get to the national average for state-level education support. Funding at that level would allow us to reach the first step in our strategic reinvestment plan. We encourage patrons to stay informed about the legislative session and to advocate for higher funding for K-12 education. We'll post updates on our website as the session and our budgeting process progress. If you have any budget-related questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.